Wayne Rooney's story begins in Liverpool, England, where he was born on October 24, 1985. From an early age, Rooney demonstrated an impressive ability with the ball at his feet. Growing up in Croxteth, a working-class neighborhood, he lived and breathed football. His passion for the sport was so evident that, even as a child, he would play for hours on the streets and fields of the area, dreaming of one day becoming a professional player. At the age of 9, Rooney was discovered by Everton, the club he supported. His dedication to the game and his natural talent soon made him stand out in the youth ranks. He scored so many goals that opponents began to fear his name, and coaches knew they were looking at a prodigy. Wayne was not just a skillful kid. He had a winning mentality, something rare to find in someone so young. His moment of glory came in 2002, when, at the age of 16, Rooney made his debut for Everton's first team. It was a dream come true, but what happened next was even more remarkable. In a game against Arsenal, who were unbeaten in 30 matches, Rooney scored from outside the box in the dying minutes. It was a powerful, precise shot that found the top corner. Not only did the goal give Everton the win, it also introduced Wayne Rooney to the world. The commentary of that moment read, "Remember the name, Wayne Rooney," and from that moment on, the Wonder Kid became the center of attention in English football. The impact was instant. Rooney was the youngest player to score in the Premier League at the time, and his boldness and confidence charmed fans and critics alike. He was unafraid to take on more experienced players and never backed down from physical challenges. This intensity was his trademark, and his hunger to win was contagious to everyone around him. However, early success also brought with it a lot of pressure. Rooney was seen as the future of English football, and the expectations placed on him were immense. But for young Wayne, this was never a problem. He knew he was just beginning and that his story was just beginning to be written. And so the boy from Croxteth went from being a promise to a reality. His meteoric rise at Everton was just the first chapter in a career that would see him become one of the greatest players of all time. In 2004, after impressing the world with his performances for Everton and his breakthrough performance at the European Championships that year, Rooney was signed by Manchester United for a then-record fee for a teenage player, £25.6 million. He was only 18, but he was already being treated like a world star. The pressure was immense. Joining one of the biggest clubs in the world, led by Sir Alex Ferguson, meant Rooney had to quickly prove himself worthy of the investment. And he did not disappoint. On his debut for Manchester United, Rooney made history by scoring a hat-trick against Fenerbahce in the Champions League. That night was a sign of the impact he would make for the club. Wayne Rooney quickly became a key player in Ferguson's tactical scheme. Despite his youth, he played with the maturity of a veteran. His intensity on the pitch was impressive. He scored goals, created chances, and was not afraid to sacrifice himself defensively. Rooney was not just a striker. He was a complete player, capable of influencing every aspect of the game. In the years that followed, Rooney formed a legendary partnership with Cristiano Ronaldo and Carlos Tevez in United's attack. This trio led the club to one of the most dominant periods in its history. Rooney proved to be the perfect complement to Ronaldo, balancing his technical prowess with hard work and an incredible team spirit. The 2007 to 2008 season was the pinnacle of this partnership, as Manchester United won both the Premier League and the Champions League, with Rooney playing a vital role in both competitions. But it wasn't just titles that Rooney excelled at. His ability to score memorable goals was second to none. He combined refined technique with sheer strength and determination. There was no doubt about it. Rooney was the heart of Manchester United, the player who inspired the fans and gave everything on the pitch, regardless of the opposition or the importance of the match. However, with success came challenges. Rooney was always an intense player, both on and off the pitch, and that intensity sometimes generated controversy. At times, he faced criticism for his fiery temper and rash decisions, but that never dimmed his brilliance. He remained the face of United and one of the most loved and feared players in world football. Within just a few years at Manchester United, Wayne Rooney had already established himself as one of the greatest talents of his generation. He was not just a player who delivered results. He was a leader who inspired thousands of He was a leader, a figure who carried the burden of responsibility of making history at one of the most prestigious clubs in the world. And that was just the beginning of a career that still had much more to offer. He established himself as a true legend of Manchester United and world football. After his initial successes at the club, Rooney began to take on more and more responsibility, becoming the center of attention at Old Trafford and a symbol of leadership on the pitch. Between 2009 and 2013, Rooney enjoyed some of the best years of his career. Following Cristiano Ronaldo's departure to Real Madrid in 2009, Rooney was tasked with leading Manchester United's attack almost single-handedly. Not only did he rise to the challenge, he also exceeded expectations, assuming the role of the team's leading goalscorer. In the 2009-10 season, Rooney enjoyed a spectacular performance, scoring 34 goals in all competitions, including a memorable header against Milan in the Champions League. It was also during this period that Rooney starred in one of the most iconic moments of his career, the bicycle kick goal against Manchester City in 2011. In a hard-fought and decisive derby, Rooney received a cross in the box and, in a perfect acrobatic move, scored a goal that has gone down in history as one of the most beautiful in all time in the Premier League. This goal symbolized everything Rooney represented: skill, courage, and an unrivaled instinct for goal. However, these years also brought challenges off the pitch. In 2010, Rooney faced a contractual crisis with United, and even publicly expressed his desire to leave the club. The reason? He wanted assurances that Manchester United would continue to invest in him to compete at the highest level. After tense negotiations, Rooney decided to stay and signed a new contract, reaffirming his commitment to the club. This situation showed that, despite his passion for United, he was also an ambitious player, always striving for excellence. In addition to being a goal scorer, Rooney demonstrated impressive versatility. He often dropped back into midfield, taking on the role of playmaker or even defensive midfielder, depending on the team's needs. His vision, precise passing, and tireless work ethic made him much more than just a striker. He was a complete player, capable of dominating any position. During this period, Manchester United continued to win major titles. Rooney was a key player in the Premier League winning campaigns of 2010-11 and 2012-13, the latter of which was the club's 20th league title and the farewell to Sir Alex Ferguson as manager. For Rooney, being led by Ferguson at his most brilliant was a privilege and a career-defining partnership. Wayne Rooney had become the face of Manchester United, the player who carried the expectations of the fans and who delivered on the pitch. He was already a living legend, but his story still had extraordinary chapters to be written. After glorious years under Sir Alex Ferguson, the club faced significant changes when the legendary manager announced his retirement in 2013. For Rooney, this new phase brought challenges and the need to adapt, but it also reaffirmed his importance as the central pillar of the team. With the arrival of David Moyes, Rooney's former manager at Everton, expectations were high, but the beginning was turbulent. Manchester United struggled to remain competitive, and the pressure was increasing with each game. Amid all this, rumors emerged that Rooney might be unhappy and considering a move. Chelsea, led by Jose Mourinho, were mentioned as a possible destination. However, Rooney remained loyal to United, signing a new contract that made him one of the highest-paid players in football. Despite the collective difficulties, Rooney continued to excel individually. He maintained his high level of performance, scoring important goals and leading the team at critical moments. One of the highlights of this period was when Rooney scored a spectacular goal from midfield against West Ham in 2014, reminding everyone why he was one of the most talented and unpredictable players in the world. The arrival of Louis van Gaal in 2014 brought new opportunities for Rooney. He was named captain of Manchester United, an honor that recognized his leadership and contribution over the years. As captain, Rooney took on an even more important role, guiding a young and rebuilding team. He became the epitome of hard work and dedication, inspiring the next generation of players. In the 2016-17 season under Jose Mourinho, Rooney reached a historic milestone. In January 2017, He scored against Stoke City to surpass Sir Bobby Charlton as Manchester United's all-time leading scorer with 253 goals. It was a record that many believed would be impossible to break. But Rooney succeeded, cementing his legacy as the club's all-time leading goalscorer. In addition, Rooney helped United win the Europa League in 2017, a trophy that had been missing from the club's collection. Although he was no longer the team's undisputed protagonist, his experience and leadership were crucial to achieving this success. This period marked Wayne Rooney's transformation from an explosive young star to a respected and admired veteran. He no longer had anything to prove to anyone, but his dedication to the club and to football remained evident in every match. Rooney was writing the final chapters of his Manchester United story, but the impact of his career would be felt for generations to come. In 2017, after 13 years of dedicated service to the Red Devils, Rooney decided to return to his roots and re-signed for Everton, the club that had given him his first professional opportunity. The return to Everton was fraught with emotion. Rooney, now a seasoned veteran, returned to Goodison Park with the goal of making a contribution both on and off the pitch. He wanted to give back to the club that had shaped him as a player and inspire the next generation of players. On his second debut for Everton, Rooney showed that he still had a lot to offer, scoring a header against Stoke City to a rousing applause from the home crowd. Despite a relatively short spell at Everton, Rooney continued to impress. One of the most memorable moments of this period was the stunning goal he scored against West Ham, with a shot from halfway, showing that his vision and technique were still at an exceptional level. It was a reminder to everyone that, even after so many years, Rooney was still capable of career-defining moments of magic. However, his time at Everton was not without its challenges. The club struggled to find consistency, and Rooney, while an important player, could not single-handedly lead the team to greater heights. After just one season, it was clear that he was ready for a new challenge, and this time outside of England. In 2018, Rooney took a bold step by joining Major League Soccer, MLS, club DC United in the United States. It was a significant change, both in terms of the environment and the culture of football. In MLS, Rooney found new energy and quickly became one of the league's biggest stars. Not only did he score incredible goals, but he also demonstrated leadership on and off the pitch, helping to transform DC United into a more competitive team. An iconic moment from his MLS career was his performance against Orlando City, when Rooney made a spectacular recovery in midfield, made a perfect tackle, and then delivered a precise assist that resulted in the winning goal. That play epitomized everything Rooney represented: passion, determination, and skill. His time in American soccer was brief, but it left a lasting impact. Rooney showed that even in a new league, he was still a distinctive player, capable of inspiring and leading his teammates. This phase of his career marked Rooney's transition into a role as a mentor and role model for young players, something he would continue to explore in the later chapters of his footballing career. Following his landmark stint with DC United in Major League Soccer, Rooney returned to England in 2020 to play for Derby County, a storied club in the English second tier, the Championship. His arrival at Derby County was not just as a player, but also as a leader on and off the pitch. From the outset, it was clear that Rooney was ready to take on greater responsibilities. He played the role of both player and assistant coach at the same time, helping the team with his vast experience and insight into the game. On the pitch, Rooney continued to show his quality even in his final years as a professional player. He scored important goals and demonstrated that he was still capable of dictating the pace of matches. Off the pitch, Rooney was an inspirational figure to the younger players, always willing to share his knowledge and help the team develop. The 2020-21 season brought a significant challenge for Derby County, who were battling relegation to the third division. Amidst the mounting pressure, Rooney made a brave decision. He took on the role of interim manager of the club, while also continuing to play. It was a difficult transition, but Rooney faced the challenge with the determination that has always characterized him. Shortly afterwards, Rooney decided to hang up his boots to fully focus on his new career as a manager. He was officially appointed manager of Derby County in January 2021. Despite all the financial and administrative difficulties the club faced, Rooney demonstrated impressive resilience. He worked tirelessly and to motivate the team and keep the club competitive, even under extremely challenging circumstances. During his time as Derby County manager, Rooney earned the respect not only of the club's fans, but also of the wider football community. His tactical approach, combined with his ability to inspire players, showed that he was ready for this new phase in his life. He was no longer just one of England's greatest ever players. He was establishing himself as a promising manager. Wayne Rooney had completed his transformation from teenage prodigy to football legend, and now to a leader off the pitch. He ended his playing career with an extraordinary legacy, full of memorable goals, historic achievements, and moments that will forever be remembered by fans. However, even after he retired, Rooney continued to contribute to the game he had always loved, showing that his passion for football was undying. After taking charge of Derby County, Rooney found himself in an almost impossible situation. The club was facing severe financial problems, which had led to severe penalties, including the deduction of points in the championship. This left the team in a desperate fight against relegation. Despite limited resources and a young squad, Rooney refused to give up. He showed impressive resilience, leading the team with courage and determination. His leadership style, based on motivation and hard work, earned him the respect of players, fans, and even opponents. Although Derby County were eventually relegated, Rooney's performance as manager was widely praised for his ability to keep the team's spirit alive at a time of extreme difficulty. Following Derby's relegation, Rooney's future was uncertain. Many expected him to seek new opportunities, and that is exactly what happened. In July 2022, Rooney took another bold step in his career by returning to Major League Soccer. This time as head coach of DC United, the same club he had played for a few years earlier. Taking charge of a rebuilding team in a growing league was yet another challenge for Rooney, but he saw it as an opportunity to grow as a coach and make a difference in a different setting. He brought his elite playing experience to the role, implementing tactics that balanced European soccer with the unique characteristics of MLS. While the task of transforming DC United into a competitive team was not easy, Rooney showed patience and commitment. He began to build a solid foundation, prioritizing the development of young talent and creating a clear identity for the team. More than immediate results, his vision was for the long term, something that reflected his maturity as a coach and his dedication to the game. Wayne Rooney, who had already conquered the world as a player, was now beginning to chart a path as a coach. He demonstrated that his passion for the sport continued to be his greatest motivation, and his desire to learn and grow was as intense as in the early days of his career. It was clear that no matter what challenges he faced, Rooney was determined to make his mark off the pitch as well. After taking over as manager of DC United, Rooney was thrust into a new challenge, navigating the unique and cultural differences of Major League Soccer, MLS. Despite being in a less pressured environment than at the top European clubs, Rooney approached the task with seriousness and professionalism. He not only brought with him the lessons of his career as an elite player, but also demonstrated a willingness to learn from the unique characteristics of MLS. It was a diverse environment where he had to adapt his tactics to players of different backgrounds and styles. A key focus for Rooney at DC United was developing young talent. He believed that the foundation for long-term success was building a team of motivated players ready to develop. Rooney took the time to work one-on-one with young players, instilling the winning mentality he had developed throughout his career. Many of these players looked to him as an inspiration, admiring his experience at clubs such as Manchester United and Everton, as well as his leadership on the pitch. Although early results were inconsistent, Rooney's impact went beyond the numbers. He was changing the mentality of the club, cultivating a culture of hard work, dedication, and ambition. His leadership style, characterized by closeness with the players and direct communication, began to bear fruit. The team began to demonstrate greater cohesion on the pitch, and the fans began to believe in the project he led. One of the most striking characteristics of Rooney as a coach was his ability to learn quickly. He was not afraid to experiment with new tactical formations and adapt his game plan to face different opponents. This tactical flexibility showed that Rooney was growing not only as a leader, but also as a strategist. Off the field, Rooney also began to gain attention as an important figure in the growth of MLS. His presence in the league attracted more international media attention, and he was often asked about his vision for the future of soccer in the United States. Rooney showed respect for the potential of MLS and saw the league as an opportunity to further develop as a coach, away from the constant pressures of the major European leagues. Although his coaching journey was still in its early stages, it was clear that Rooney was committed to building a legacy off the field. He viewed every challenge as an opportunity to learn and grow, and his determination to succeed as a coach was as strong as his determination to succeed as a player. It was the beginning of a new chapter, but it already showed signs that it would be as impactful as the previous ones. During his journey with DC United, Rooney faced the ups and downs that come with a project under construction. The challenges were many, from adapting to the specificities of MLS football to managing a team with financial and structural limitations. Even so, he demonstrated resilience and a clear intention to leave a lasting legacy. One of Rooney's most notable traits as a coach was his ability to motivate players, even in adverse situations. He stood out for his ability to understand the human side of each athlete, something that he himself valued as a player. Rooney knew when to push, when to support, and, above all, how to extract the maximum potential from each member of the team. Despite the challenges, Rooney began to reap the rewards of his work. DC United showed signs of evolution, both in its style of play and in its competitive mentality. Fans, who initially had doubts about his signing, began to support him, recognizing his effort and commitment that he demonstrated in every game. Off the pitch, Rooney also became a respected voice in American soccer. He frequently praised the potential of MLS, but also offered constructive criticism, highlighting areas that could be improved to make the league more competitive on a global level. His experience in elite European leagues brought a valuable perspective, and his presence helped raise the profile of DC United and MLS as a whole. However, Rooney's coaching journey was not just about immediate results. He was building something bigger both for the club and for himself. His time in the United States allowed Rooney to refine his tactical ideas, experiment with different approaches, and most importantly, prepare himself for even bigger challenges in the future. Rumors began to circulate about a possible return to England, either as a manager of another club or in a more significant role on the European stage. While Rooney was focused on his work at DC United, it was clear that his ambition remained intact. He wanted to grow, learn, and eventually establish himself as one of the greats of the new generation of managers. Wayne Rooney was proving himself once again, but this time in a completely different role. His transition from player to manager was a reflection of his ability to adapt and evolve, traits that have remained with him throughout his career. With each passing day, he continued to show that his passion for football was about more than what happened on the pitch. It was about leadership, development, and the desire to leave a lasting impact on the game. Wayne Rooney brings to an end an incredible journey as one of the greatest icons in world football. After overcoming challenges and making his mark at DC United, Rooney once again caught the eye of the European scene. His development as a coach showed that he was ready for even greater things, always bringing with him the experience of a legendary playing career and the lessons learned from his early coaching experiences. Rooney's future looked bright, with many believing he was destined to lead big clubs in the Premier League or perhaps even the English national team. His passion for football, combined with his dedication and tactical knowledge, positioned him as a figure to watch in the coaching world. But above all, Wayne Rooney never wavered from his roots. He has always carried with him the essence of the young man who grew up playing on the streets of Croxteth, with a ball at his feet and huge dreams in his head. That same spirit has driven him to achieve everything he has achieved and to continue inspiring generations of fans and players around the world. And so it ends. We take you on this journey through the story of Wayne Rooney. His journey is not just about goals, titles, and records, but about determination, sacrifice, and love for the sport. Rooney showed us that football is more than just a game. It is a platform to overcome challenges and leave an everlasting legacy. Thank you for watching another video on our channel. If you liked this story, be sure to check out the previous video, where we tell the epic story of Alan Shearer, another giant of world football. And of course, Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video to help spread these incredible stories. See you in the next episode. Thank you all.